right? So like we can't see stuff outside of that, but we can see like right here, just I guess so you know. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, like so we're live by the way. But yeah, so like I've never taken the Ty Lopez's course, but I follow him on Snapchat like everybody else. And
Yeah.
like what is it all like Bentleys and models and stuff like that?
Bentley's models. He does a lot of farming and
That's like it's a farm now. Like why? Um,
yeah.
and he's
He
got
says
like
he's going to start a grass-fed beef jerky company.
what? What? So hey everybody, I don't know why I like grass. That's like some rich people stuff. Like I'm just gonna make up a new type of meat. Hey everybody, this is Jeff. I'm with Jimmy Rutkowski, right?
Yes,
Uh,
Rukowski. Yep.
Rutkowski. Jimmy and I met like I would say like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and Jimmy's got like a pretty cool story. He took Ty Lopez's course, got hit by the world for like 90 days, changed his thinking, and then all of a sudden you started landing dentist after dentist after dentist. You went from 0 leads a day, now you're doing like 5 or 6 leads a day consistently for your clients. And
Hmm.
now you're like this close to landing an $8,000 deal with a $1 million marketing company, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's like super cool, super excited. I think that's really value driven for people who are like looking to scale and grow their agency because like the first chunk sucks, right? And so I always try to like get on record. People are coming out of that chunk and out of that mud and out of that forest because like looking back, you feel like you did so many things wrong, right? So I'm super psyched to be chatting with you. And if anyone's got any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, ideas, put them in the chat now because this is going to get filled up. And I only have like 35 more minutes with Jimmy because you're currently on the lunch break of the job you're going to quit, right?
Yep. I'm on my last lunch break of a job that I am done with today.
Yeah, so if you've got questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, ideas, put them in now. So, Jimmy, so you started your social media Facebook ads journey how long ago with Ty Lopez's course or something?
I bought it last June.
Last June. Okay, and you did
Yeah.
that because Ty Lopez showed the Bentleys and the girls, and you're like, I like cars and girls, so let's do that, right? Um,
He actually started doing the girls a lot more a couple months after I started. It was so yeah, I mean it was I saw that, but it wasn't nearly as much. I remember last summer it was just like pretty much Dan Blazarian doing business coaching. So
I also followed him on Instagram. How does he have all this money? Whatever. So you took Ty Lopez's course, you learned
uh-huh.
just enough, and then what happened for like the next? Tell me your story. Like what happened like from day 0 to like day 90? Like what happened? Why did it suck? What did you wish you did differently? Like what was that journey like?
Yeah, so there was a gap in there where I actually uh, got offered a job as a social media marketer, doing the same thing as what I'm doing now, but as a job.
Yeah.
I got off because a friend of mine owns a small marketing company here in town where I live, and so there was about a before or after I took Ty Lopez's course, I took me about a month and a half to get through it,
Yeah.
and then once I got through it, I was like, man, I can take on the world. And so I went to a few networking events. I contacted everybody I knew that had a business and just kind of, but one thing that they don't really cover all that well in the course, and the course, I mean, it definitely gets you off your feet. Like I can't talk bad about it because it got me to even start with this, but at the same time, it definitely didn't give me the exact tools to really start going to network events with efficiency and a strategy and those kinds of things. So I got just rejection after rejection, nobody returning calls, texts, emails, even people that were friends of mine just like not interested.
Well, see you later. Goodbye.
Yeah. And so I went to, or after, a few months of trying to do that, working a full-time job, just being a newlywed, I was just, not trying to kicking the tires at it and was like, man, this is a lot harder than I thought it would be because I thought nobody was doing this in my town. And then, and then, yeah, so there was, a competition aspect, just not knowing, not being prepared for the sales aspect. And so, about last October, a friend of mine he mostly just does videos for companies and a little bit of photography. And so he saw what I was doing and was like, man, I know that I have some clients that would like this because I do video for them, but then they don't put it anywhere. So he said, it'd be a good way to increase brand exposure. And so I took that on, did that for about 6 months, had a law firm and a few other clients. And then what the crazy thing was that I got really frustrated because I was still working a full-time job and I was still just grinding away, waking up at 5 a.m. so I could work.
Wait.
Go
So
ahead.
you took the course, and then for the first 90 days, you tried the side gig, still
Uh-huh.
had a job, and then you were working with a video guy, trying to figure
Uh-huh.
out still had a job, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right, go on.
Yeah. Because it wasn't quite full-time income. It was a good side income, but not full-time. And so I was, pounding away at that, just really going. And then I got really frustrated because I just wasn't getting the amount of clients I needed. I was done working a job that I knew wasn't my future. I was getting, because I had talked about, I'm going to be doing this, this, and this. I got pulled from all raises and promotions. And so I was just dead end on both sides. And so I came to a point where I just said, I need to decide which one I'm going to go full on because doing both is just not working for me. And so I went to my friend. I was going to actually just quit. I met with him to quit. And I actually got off the phone with a college recruiter. I was going to do online college to show my job I was more serious and all this BS. And so I went to him to quit. And then 5 minutes in, we're just kind of chatting, and I was really nervous about it because he offered me this great opportunity. And then he said, "Hey, there's this, this gal." And I said, "Yeah, she actually, yeah, I know her." And he said, "Well, she needs help with her business manager, and so I think that you should go help her."
Right.
And I said, "Yeah, of course I'll help her." So I went and helped her out. Actually wasn't able to solve her problem, but I was able to she asked me, what do you do for him? And we kind of started talking. And then she messaged me on Facebook 2 days later and said, "Hey, I might have an opportunity for you to kind of consult with a pretty big company on marketing. And I think I've been asked to do this, but I don't really know how to do it. And you have these click funnels and these email sequences and all this stuff. And I just don't know how to do all that or set it up. And so I think that you would be really, or it'd be a good idea for you to talk to these guys."
Wait. So how did you meet this? I call them like that fork in the road. How did you meet this person that said like, I've got a problem, can you help me solve it? How did you meet that person? That was from like a friend that was gonna give you a job but then didn't, or something like that?
No, so that I was still working with my full-time job and with the video guy. And so I went to go
Got it.
quit the video guy and tell him like I'm done with this. And so I did the video, or I went to him, and then before I could quit, he actually said, "Hey, this gal over at at this place needs your help." And so I went and helped her out, told her what I could do, kind of what I was doing with my friend as a job. And so she said, "You really need to check this out." And so sat down with her, kind of talked a little bit more about it, and she said, "This guy really wants to test out doing this whole social media stuff for his dentist practice," which is what she was doing. She was a content creator of this for this dentist. And
Yeah.
so talked to him. We started doing this whitening campaign. It was a $150 whitening campaign. We
Beautiful.
got, it sounds like a lot, right? And so that's not the crazy discount funnel at all. And so I,
All prices, right? It's not like sneakily like here's 15 bucks. It's like, no, it's 150. People bought anyway, right? They signed up, they
yeah,
opted in. Go on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they did $150 offer. We got 45 leads in just a handful of days with only about 150 in ad spend. And the dentist was just super stoked. And so he said, "Man, can you do like Invisalign? Can you do this and that?" And so we've been kind of working on that side of things. New patients and whitening is kind of what works right now. And so we just have been going, and the dentist said, "Well, I actually, have a network of a lot of dentists, and here's 10." So,
Okay.
so
Okay. Before we go into that.
yeah,
So, did Ty Lopez's course side gig, had a full time job, wasn't working out, hate your life, everything sucks. Uh, Video guy that's like, I guess you could do this. I've got need for this type of work, but still not figuring it out. Video guy says, talk to this lady. This lady knows an F ton of dentists, right?
yeah,
And says, can you do dental Facebook ads, right? Kind of.
yeah,
And you're like,
essentially.
so you ended up running their first Facebook campaign for them, for this dentist. And it was a $150 offer for like just whitening, right?
Yeah.
And did you do like anything like weird or cool with that offer? Or was the ad just like, hey, Miami, $150, end of click here? Was it just like that? Or did you do like something more advanced?
That was it. I mean, it was literally just Facebook ad, It's like, hey, it was actually, we said that it was a special for April. So it was just they said this offer is only good for this month. And that was it. It was just, hey, we're doing this offer. It had a before and after picture, which I don't know how we got that approved,
Right.
of teeth. And so somehow it got approved and never got taken down. The ad account didn't get shut down. So luckily we got away with that. But before and after picture, and then we took it to a landing page that got their name, email, phone number, sent them an email with their voucher for their $150 whitening, and that was it.
So with $150, you got 45 leads. This dentist said, "Oh my God, this is amazing. Can you do other work?" So then what happened?
So then he said, I actually can connect you with many other dentists. And so we said, okay, sure. And so we took that on, and we have 10 right now, and we're getting ready to add on a handful more.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of luck thrown in there, but at the same time, it was, a long road to that luck.
So this dentist was like so overwhelmed. So were you doing you weren't even doing like sneaky surveys or welcome texts. You were just like texting him the lead and saying, call them, right?
Yeah, that was it. We just sent them a text. It was exactly what, Dan teaches in his course. It was just ad, landing page, email notification.
Yep.
And then I had an active campaign set up to text the dentist.
Beautiful. So you did great work for this dentist. This dentist refers you. What was that like referral conversation? Did you talk to them over the phone? Did they Google you? Did they say, let me see your results? Like what happens when, like for people watching this, well, let me ask you this. Did the first dentist you have say, but show me your results? Or did they say, let's give this a try? Like, does that ever come up at all? Like to show me the results before we get started type thing?
It hasn't come up yet. And I think that it's because of the rapport of the dentist.
Yeah.
I think that I get to piggyback off that a little bit, and that they don't question him, because the practice that we started on is actually in the top 5 like fastest growing practices in the country. And so he
oh my God, you're sitting on a gold mine. Like
yeah. So this guy, I mean, he gets asked to be consulting all the time. And so it's great. And so they don't question us. They don't, they don't ever say, well, can you do this? I mean, some dentists have a hard time with the free or discounting their services. They feel like, well, I don't want to just race to the bottom like everybody else. And so that's one conversation that you can definitely, touch on. And it's just that you can pull up a map while you're talking to them on Zoom, or you can pull up, just type in dentist in Miami, and it'll show up 100 dentists and say, hey, look, these are all people that are probably aren't using a system like this. And they are what separates you from all these guys. You have to be different somehow. And so one way you can do that is by creating an offer that's irresistible and that separates you from the rest of the guys. Otherwise,
when you use the term irresistible offer, that's not a discount conversation. But immediately it's not. They're saying, all right, what can I do in my office to these people to make them so excited that it's almost like it's crazy for them not to say yes. And all of a sudden, you're not talking about a race to the bottom or discount or stuff like that. It's like, what's an irresistible offer? So yeah, keep going.
Yeah, you can just show them, hey, look at how many dentists are in your area. What separates you from them? And, of course, they have their spiel, but at the same time, not that many people care about that. What they care about is getting a good deal and making sure, and they need to know why they're there. And so touching on pain points, we did a little bit in the ad, saying, not embarrassed to smile, but it was along the lines of making them realize like, hey, my teeth can be whiter and that might help me. So that's and that's the kind of emotion you got to evoke for that. And then with new patient offers, the same thing. I mean, just hit on some pain points and make sure that, because one thing is that people are scared of dentists. Like that's just, dental fear is really real. And so being able to hit on that and then show a little bit of who they are in a video. If they can do video, that's great. But if they have a staff picture in front of their office, that works awesome too.
Yep. So you get this first dentist, goes really well, and you talk like a normal human being. You pick up their phone calls when they call. You're delivering like the perceived value, which I think is just like exchanging like normal business conversation, right? and he starts referring you a bunch of people, and then you freak out, and then you jump up and down because you have money. Now you establish a system. Are you running the same campaigns across the board? Like what's phase 2 of your dental campaigns? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So phase 2, we're going to be going on doing kind of taking the same thing that we were doing with the whitening, so the offer and all that stuff, and kind of transitioning using a lookalike audience to get those higher end services. So Invisalign and implants and or dental implants, and got to specify that. And then, doing those kinds of things, because that's really what dentists want. They want those higher end. I mean, there's some practices that are totally happy with getting new patients, and most of them, probably a large majority of them, are fine with that. But some are maxed out, and that's what we came across, was one that said, I don't need new patients. We're at max capacity. So what else can you do for us? And so, we're starting to do Invisalign for them, and we're going to implants are great too. And IV sedation, which is just letting the people know that, hey, you don't have to be scared about going to the dentist, because we'll knock you the fuck out. So
all time. Yeah. This will be the thumbnail of the video, just like, right? So, all right. So just to recap. So for anyone who's just jumping on board, Jimmy got his first big start by a friend of a friend of a friend who heard that he did social media, ran some Facebook ads for a dentist, and didn't do a discount, just did the normal, it costs $150 thing. Got 45 leads. The dentist thought it was so amazing, referred 10 of his friends. And one of the things that comes up is well, what if I don't want new customers, right? Well, here's a strategy that will get you higher paying customers. So I know you're capped out, but what if we could switch out a $10 patient for a $1,000 patient? Are you interested in that? And that's kind of what you're talking about, right? So you're ending up building out an offer rotation, which is what we're going to be doing in the inner circle. You've got your first 2 months of stuff. Now you have to start switching it up. So with my bike shop, I'll switch up inspection, paid ride, training, personal trainer, free ride. I go on rotation. You know what I mean? And you're going to start doing the same thing with your dentists. So you're going to have a dentist consortium, right? You're going to have 10 dentists. You've got all the data. You're transferring best practices. You're recording all your calls. You could have like Jimmy's dentist course on dentist ads and stuff like that. And they're going to pay way too much money to talk to you. And it's going to be amazing, right? But
the goal is to be like Alex, with the gym guy, is to just sell done with you systems. And because, they'll pay if we can say, hey, we can get you 5 new Invisalign clients this month. They'll easily pay crazy amounts of money just for that. And then to say, yeah, we can also create a system create a system where you can experience that every month or every couple months, or they will definitely pay for that.
You're stealing the verbiage I use. I say the same exact thing. You transition really quickly, and I think you're part of this, and you just don't know it yet. At first, you are a Facebook ads guy. Then you are a Facebook ads agency. And pretty soon you'll be an agency that uses systems to grow businesses. Just so happens that we use Facebook ads to get you in the door, right? And so now you're going to be talking about customer recognition sequences, automatic follow-up, auditing phone calls, making sure the front desk is doing that. All the stuff that businesses need 4, 5, 6 months down the line that you're going to start offering. And if you didn't, they drop you, right? Because once they have Facebook ads, they fix that problem. Now you're discovering new problems, which is super cool. So if you guys have any questions about dentist ad, drop them in the comments. We're just going to run through all of them in the last 10 minutes or so. But what I want to talk about is this $8,000 deal. What is it? How did you find it? How did you close it? This is the biggest deal yet. Tell me what the hell is going on here.
Yes. So it's a marketing company that they have a lot of big contracts with some bigger companies here where I live. And so they're huge, multi-million, and they wanted to build out a social media presence. So just through networking, my business partner met him. And so we started talking, and we kind of built a relationship, that sort of thing. And then he was like, I really like what you guys are doing. I think that we can kind of implement this into what we offer. And so we said, yeah, of course we can. And so we asked, is there any any services or any, you guys do dentists right now? Do you have any room for anywhere else? I said, yeah, actually, we're going to be working on a restaurant, a med spa, and a car wash here like really soon. And so he said, and you'll be able to do that with all those. And I said, yeah, but it's principles. It's not one specific niche that works on Facebook. It's principles that you can apply to almost any industry, and they work.
Perfect.
Yeah. And so we sat down with them and we said, we're connected. And I kind of use the Facebook groups that I'm a part of. I said, we're connected with thousands of other marketers, that there is not one industry that hasn't been talked about or that we can connect with. We're connected with multi-thousand or several $100,000 a year, companies that can give us consulting. And so if we don't know how to do something, I know the guy that knows how to do it. And so
why is that not a line everybody uses? Like, that came out beautiful. Makes total sense. Now you don't have to worry about, but where's your results? Do you know what you're doing? Are you the dentist expert? Are you the car wash expert or the bike shop expert? No, I know people who are. I'm a general contractor. I get shit done. I'll figure it out. And then they go, here's money. All right, but go on. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly what happened. And, because they're such a big company, there's a lot of legalities and stuff involved. And so, yeah, we said, we can build out your entire marketing or social media marketing side of your business. We'll build out the entire thing over X amount of months at this cost. We'll also acquire X amount of clients in this amount of time to be able to make it worth your while and to be able to coach somebody on your staff. And so actually what we created was a deal where we get a percentage of their entire social media company indefinitely. So, and eventually I'll just be a guy who makes a phone call twice a month and says, hey, how are the ads going? And that's it.
So, dude, like, oh my God. That's so awesome. All right. Like, one of the reasons why I like doing these interviews at like people's inflection points is you get to see like both sides. Like, part of you still remembers that gut wrenching feeling of doing that 3 months of no results, having the full-time job while you're doing it, struggling, can't figure it out. Like, the universe is saying, no, thank you. And then you find like your muse or your keynote or that fork in the road, that person that says, I think I know somebody. And you just ran with it, man. Like, you said, I don't care if I don't know how to do it. I don't have to be an expert. I just know how to get something done. I just need to know how to solve a problem. And that has come up consistently in your thought process and the words that you're using. Like, you don't have to be the HVAC expert. You just have to know how to get results. And you know what? There's an F ton of HVAC experts that you can pay a fair amount of money for, and they'll just show you everything, right? Like, like I think you paid for like my inner circle earlier today, right? Which is awesome. You're going to do great. And now you've got bike shop stuff. You've got dentist stuff that you don't need. You've got carpet cleaner stuff. So guess what? Like, your customer opportunities, your client opportunities just quadrupled. And now you've got a marketing company that's like, how about we just give you 8K plus a percentage, and then we just want the results. It's fucking amazing. And you're literally at your lunch hour of the last day of your job.
Yep. It's so exciting.
Oh my God, that's so awesome. We're coming up to a total of 30 minutes now. So now's the time we're going to go over questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, ideas.
Yeah.
So I think Jimmy can like knock a couple questions out for you, or if I can knock out a couple questions for you. Now's the time. We're both like growing our business is super busy. Like, I literally had to like squeeze time in with Jimmy because he's like getting booked up really darn fast. One of the questions that come up is, how long have you been doing businesses? How long have you been doing the business before getting the dentist? So like, how long from day zero, and you're like, I'm going to start this, put some money into it, time, effort, energy, to where you got like that first dentist deal?
It was about 10 months.
So just under a year, right? And looking back under that year, were you making some like big obvious mistakes that like, if you looked at like Jimmy, you go like, I can't believe you're doing it wrong type thing? Like, were there a couple of things you're doing wrong in those first 10 months that you didn't know until after?
Yeah. So one of them is to go to networking events with no strategy and to just say, hey, I do Facebook ads. Oh, tell me about that. Well, we're just getting started. And so, that was my response. And so obviously not. And with Tai Lopez's course, they don't really they don't really teach lead gen. It's more of growing somebody's Facebook page. And so which I mean, there is some value to that, but also that's not where the real value comes from. And so it mostly teaches you contests and giveaways, and most of the training things are just, there's many different trainers in that course, and it seems like they all got hired to promote their course. And so they're just skimming the surface on what actually on the actual content. They're just kind of giving you a huge overview. And so what that taught me was, man, there's a lot more to learn out there than just this. And so that's what got me in Dan's course and that kind of stuff.
So that's Dan Henry, by the way, same course that I took and Jimmy took. So looking back, you were going to these networking things, chamber of commerce, things like that, which is good. And you would say, I'm starting a Facebook ad agency, growing a Facebook ad agency. People say, oh, that's cool. Tell me more about it. And you just have this like brain freeze of a heart attack and not have like a good response, right? Like you didn't have a structured way to turn conversations into clients, right?
Yeah.
So moving forward, like, do you have like, here's 2 things you should be doing at Chamber of Commerce when we meet people? So like what I do is I go, yeah, I'm actually growing a Facebook ad agency right now. How many customers are you generating? And they go like, what are you talking about? I go, well, we do blah, blah, blah. But honestly, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just here to, do the schmoozing thing. If you'd like, we can set up 15 minutes, no big deal. And then text back and forth, and then 15 minutes, and then you do the onboarding session. And that's something that I use. So is there like an example that you would use in the future?
Yeah, so I like to do local events, not necessarily, I mean, they're networking events, but they're kind of the people that are huge influencers in where I live. They all go to a lot of local events. So we have this thing called Live at 5 where, there's a band playing, a whole bunch of taco trucks, and it's a cool place. And pretty much all the people that are doing business go to those kind of local events. And so they go to restaurant openings, they go to all different kinds of things where people are drinking and having fun, and they don't want to talk necessarily about business, but they will if it comes up. And so that's where I like to go. And that's where a lot of the initial leads that we got were from those, or not the initial leads, but the initial people that sparked interest where I got to try and fail on. Those were the events that really helped in growing that. Like, so, I think that's a good place to start for sure, is to go to a restaurant opening with some friends, or go to somewhere where, there's kind of an event side to it, not just a restaurant opening, but, is there going to be a ribbon cutting? Ribbon cuttings are good. There's all different kinds of stuff that you can go to where people are meeting up. There's going to be vendors there. There's going to be restaurants catering. There's going to be all kinds of stuff going on. And so it makes it a little bit easier to get in conversations when it's just there. You're just there to have fun. And then you happen to talk about business. I haven't done chamber quite yet. It's mostly just like there's just one called Young Professionals where I live, where it's just, even though they don't put an age requirement on it, so it gets a little bit of an older professionals, but there's definitely some opportunities like that. Or you can create one, start a meetup group where you're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing this soon to start growing my Instagram stuff. Is to create a meetup group where you discuss these things, and then people realize, man, it's actually a lot of work to do that. I don't want to do that, but it sounds like this guy knows how to do it.
Okay. Like one of the tenets that I think has like been driving my agency's growth, in particular, like me as an individual, as a Facebook marketer, an agency owner, things like that, is realizing that like in your bones exists the normal way of doing business, which is being a normal person, being part of a community, and being part of a tribe. And we're all part of one. Like, just look around you 3 miles, like there's your tribe, right? That's your first batch, your first start. When everyone's trying to say like, but how do I get started? I say like, go meet real life human beings, have real life conversations, and do it with people that are neck choking distance. So like, try not to try to find the one business in San Francisco while you live in New York. Like, go to stuff where you live, right? Like, go to Eventbrite, go to meetups, be a normal human being. And those are the people that are more up to trust you. Give you your first start. Somebody who's brand new, give a first start to somebody who's brand new and stick with you longer versus a random person that you barely met. You only talk over the phone once and like they'll just drop you at the end of the So yeah, so that's super awesome. I'm super psyched for your success. Somebody else left a comment saying, does your retainer that you get paid vary based upon industry? And I have my own answer, but I figure like, because like you're moving forward, is your retainer going to change depending upon the industry and the service you provide, or what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so it kind of depends. I mean, with dentists, where our standard is at 1,200, 1,500, depending on what they want. I know it's a little bit less than, but we're going to be hiking up those prices here pretty soon. But that's kind of where we started, and then actually some of them were even 800. And so it's really, I would say it is industry based and based on what they want. So like we're going to be talking to a car wash here pretty soon, and they have a lot of locations. So obviously, $1,200 for, one or 10 locations is just kind of ridiculous to do that. Yep. And so, or, a car dealership that has 2 or 3 locations, or, things like that. And based on the amount of, if you get one sale for them, how much are they going to make? There was an RV dealership that I talked to. They didn't end up doing it. They still fail, and they didn't end up taking it. But it was, a $3,000 a month offer that I gave them, because I know that if I sell one RV, then they had a positive ROI.
Yep.
And so that's the real thing, is they care about ROI. And so if I could sell 2, then I'm a freaking hero.
Yep.
And so
that's interesting. That's the same structure for my conversation. So I always charge $2,900 a month, 30 customer opportunities guaranteed. And then the surrounding idea is like, look, if I just get you 3 phone calls, you're going to be jumping up and down, right? And they go, hell yeah. And what's really interesting is a lot of my customers will say, it's going to take 2 or 3 months to turn this, $50 inspection to a $5,000 bike. And I go, just so you're aware, that's totally possible. And I put those onboarding docs on our weekly calls. I like, you said it was going to take like a while. So like, don't freak out, right? You're going to have a positive ROI campaign. It just not be within the first week or first month or something like that. So I have a flat rate. Jimmy has a variable rate. It's totally okay, because what we're doing is we're structuring campaigns to deliver a positive ROI campaign. We're talking about customer opportunities. We're not just posting on their wall for likes. We're providing value. We're meeting real life people that want to buy what we have to sell. Like, we're doing normal business stuff, just like your parents think about it, right? Like, there's no confusion, right? It's just like, do Facebook ads, phone calls, easy. The same way Dr. Lawyer Accountant built a business. That's how you actually build a Facebook ads agency, which is really, really darn cool. And I think somewhat like exciting, that type of idea. Somebody asks, have you taken any other Facebook courses? So you took Tai Lopez, you took Dan Henry's, you're now my Inner Circle High Five. You're going to love it.
I'm excited.
What other like educational aspects have you done to up like your Facebook ads knowledge or your agency knowledge?
Yeah. So Clicks into Customers 2.0 by Billy Jean's Marketing, and his Billy Jean's Gene Pool. Okay. Billy Jean's Gene Pool is really freaking good. I mean, he covers a lot of stuff. You get a live call every week, and he does take questions on there. So it's good stuff. I really like his course. And but yeah, that was Dan Henry's was the one that was kind of the turning point for me. That's kind of where I learned more of the mindset and the strategies and the mindset behind acquiring customers, like optimizing a Facebook page, which took me way too long. And thanks, Jeff, for reminding me on that. But
we talked like, I think it was like a month ago, and I was like, Jimmy, fix your Facebook page. And you're like, what's wrong? I was like, everything is wrong with it, because what happened? People are like, oh, that's the Facebook guy. That's cool. Let me go ask my wife. Then they go on a computer and they look at you on Facebook and they go like, who is this dude? And then they immediately think the first thing, and then they don't buy from you. But like, things line up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you Tai Lopez, Dan Henry, you took Billy Jean. Any like interesting marketing books or like additional things or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, the .com secrets, expert secrets, I mean, everybody should be reading those. And if you haven't, you're crazy. And so, yeah, I mean, books wise, I'm mostly a video course guy. Like, I know that books are great, and I read those. I read books every once in a while, but I'm not huge into them because I just consume so much video content. But yeah, I do like, Magic of Thinking Big is probably my favorite book when it comes to mindset, and kind of, there's also some networking and people skills and sales in there too. I really like that one for that. And that's probably my favorite. But yeah, mostly video content, and then a handful of books here and there.
Very cool.
Not Giving a Fuck is a really good book too. But that has nothing to do with
Not Giving a Fuck.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So cool. Somebody else is like asking this question, or I'll just re-answer it from my point of view. Jay Abraham's book on how to get everything out of all you've got, and then the Ask book. Those have been like my 2 inflection points. Of course, Russell Brunson's like 2 books. I did do Billie Jean's for like 2 weeks, and then I was like, "There's too much stuff. I can't handle it." Right? Like overwhelming. But I took Dan Henry's course. I'm probably going to take Kat Howell's course, and then I'm going to take Nick Robbins' course as well. And Nick Robbins is based out of Utah, and his agency is up to like $300K a month now, which is like, oh my God, like that's insane. And he has like, I think every Facebook agency owner that has some success has the same exact story as you, which is it sucked for a really, really, really long time, and then I stopped doing it wrong. And then I'll this all the way up.
Yep.
Like for some reason, like I guess that's just freshman year. Like you think you know it all, right? And then the world says, no, you don't. But I'm super psyched to have done this interview. I think this is a really cool inflection point. Like half the reason why I do these is because you're going to look back on this in 3-6 months and be like, oh my God, like I've grown so much, and it's like super rewarding.
Yeah.
But you've done like crazy awesome so far. You turned 1 dentist into 10 dentists. You found your referral partner, which is what I talk about a lot. The person that's going to connect you, you should probably pay them somehow, right? And I'm sure you are.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
And you, very much so.
Yeah, so there you go, right? So like, I totally forgot what I was talking about. And you found your referral partner. You got 1 dentist and 10 dentists. Now you got an 8K contract that's in the letter of intent. And you're like building your engine to your car that is now your agency. And it's going to get to a point where you just have to make a call. And that's what you're talking about, right?
Yep.
So I'm super psyched. We're out of time. We're out of questions. Don't hang up. We have to do like a debrief. But that's it for this interview. It'll go somewhere in like the course or something like that. So thanks, everybody. And we'll catch you guys later.